Hi, Shanna Rowe Jackson here from Caution Artists at Play, and today I'm going to be getting a little crafty and playing with these paint pens. These are kind of an unusual medium for me, but I've been looking for some fun, crafty paint pens for a while because sometimes I just like to play around and get crafty, and I don't want to use my really expensive paint pens for that. I'd rather reserve those for my fine art that I'm going to plan on selling, whereas my crafting I kind of do just for me. And I think that these little pens are going to fit the bill. For transparency reasons, this company did reach out to me and ask if I would be interested in trying them. And since I was already looking for something similar, but I hadn't settled on what I wanted to try yet, I said, why not? So these were sent to me for free, but I'm not being paid for this. This is going to be 100% my own opinions, and it's just going to be me having a good time. Nothing too serious today. All right, so let's take a look at these pens. Oil-based ink, 3mm medium point tip, multi-surface. So these actually have really great ratings on Amazon, because that was one of the things I looked at, because I think this company sells like primarily on Amazon. And I actually, when they had asked me if I would like to try it, they sent me the Amazon link. They have really great ratings on Amazon. Now, these aren't not something that's going to have light fast ratings. I think they're more like advertised as a safe product for like all ages, or at least, what was it? I think there was a thing here that said, obviously 0 to 3 kids can't use it, but above 3, it's supposed to be safe, and it even has the seal here saying that it's a safe product to use. And according to their listing on Amazon, and I'll kind of post a screenshot here, they're supposed to work on a lot of surfaces. And so that's what I'm going to try today. Now, let's see what comes in the box. I do have a few things that come with it. Lifetime warranty, 24 hours, 365-day customer service. Imuki, I don't know how to say that, honestly. It says, thanks for giving our small family business, or family-run business, a shot. Your order and reviews matter more than you can imagine. We will do our best to deliver better products in the future. And if there's any problems with our items, please feel free to contact me. Any problems will be handled immediately. My sincere thanks for your kindness. Best regard to you. And it actually has an email for support, which is good. And then there's also another card, a thank you card, reiterating that. I think that's a really nice touch. And this is the user manual. So the user manual says, thank you for purchasing our product. Please read the product instructions before using the product. Our product have a medium-sized tip, a microfiber tip from Japan, which is interesting that the tip comes from Japan because this actually comes from China. And then it says, which is perfect for every detail of your creations, works on virtually any surface, metal, ceramic, stone, black paper, wood, photo album, plastic, glass, and so on. For a perfect use experience, this pen must be placed horizontally when you don't use it, which most paint pens do have to. So this is a good range of colors here, and they're fairly inexpensive. And for the ratings, I think it's going to be, I don't know, I'm pretty excited. I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but I'm pretty excited for these. And it's a good range of colors here. You have your regular rainbow colors, couple neutrals. This one silver, or is it gray? This must be silver. Silver and gold. So, good range of colors here. And we'll look at what they say. If this will focus. There we go. Paint marker, oil-based, medium point. Shake the pen before use. Press the nib several times vertically until the ink exudates. Write what you want. Sorry, I'm reading this through the camera and I have like something blocking it. Yeah. Anyway, so, and that's basically all the information it gives. It doesn't have a color name on it. It has the instructions here on how to do it, basically like any other paint marker. And obviously, like I said, no light fast information, but typically speaking, these types of pens don't have that kind of information. And that's the point on it. So I think you could get some good fine lines with that. but also some good coverage. But we will find that out in a minute. They say that you can work on a number of surfaces. I don't have any of my black paper with me, but I do have some slate, which is pretty dark. So we'll see how well it shows up on slate. And I have another rock here, so I definitely want to try these for rock painting. I have a couple different kinds of wood here to work on. I have glass. I have all kinds of stuff just kicking around the house. I might be drawing on some random stuff today. This is going to be just a fun, relaxing, random video. All right, so I am going to start priming these. I'll do that off camera because nobody needs to see that. Like, we've all seen how these are primed and it takes too long. So I'm going to prime these and I am going to get started on my little projects. All right, see you in a few. Okay, so this did not take that long to prime. I want to show you though. I'm just doing this on like the backing of an old sketchbook. Look how well that silver shows up. Like, this is the first one I've primed. I am super excited about this. I think these are going to be a lot of fun already just from priming and doodling a little bit. I am working on a little piece of slate that I found out in my front yard. It's just a little broken shard, and I thought that it kind of looked like a mountain, so I thought it would be fun to do a tiny little landscape with these pens just to kind of see how much detail I could get. Of course, I didn't expect to get high detail, but I think they did pretty well. And right off the bat, I was really impressed with how opaque the white was when I started with the mountain and how well it went over that dark color. And I was also able to test out to see if they blended in the water, and they actually blended pretty well. There seemed to be a good balance between them being able to blend, but also dry fast enough so that I could layer them. And you'll see me kind of go back and forth between some different angles, and I'm also going to go back and forth between voiceover and real time so you can kind of get some of my real-time impressions of these pens. But I was actually pretty impressed with this first project. Obviously, it's not perfect, but for the size, I was really, really excited about it. So going on that theme, I decided to start painting on a rock as well, and I loved the rocks that they had on the front of the packaging where there were these little ladybugs, so I was inspired by that and I started doing a ladybug. However, because the rock was so dark, for some reason the red wasn't as opaque as some of the other colors I had already used, so I had to do more than one layer and I had to let it dry first. So then you see me come and do a different project in between. Okay, so far I've been having a blast. I've already drawn on some rock. I have to wait for this one to dry because it's taking a while. And now I'm going to draw on this. So this is something that I did with some spare pouring paint that I had after a different project. A lot of times if I have just a little bit left, I'll put it on a mini canvas. But I have had a really hard time finding markers that will go over this. And like you can see, I put a J here for my last name. But I think I did it with my Liquitex markers or maybe even Pitt pens. And I really am not a fan with how that comes out. I'll be really excited if these work really well over acrylic pouring, because acrylic pouring is really glossy. So I want to test that out, and I think I'm going to try my gold one. Oh my gosh. Oh, I am so excited. Well, it does still kind of... Nope. It goes on there pretty well. I was afraid like it was getting kind of streaky, but that's actually really not bad compared to how some other markers usually work on acrylic pouring. Oh, I'm really excited about this because I've been looking for some great markers to use in conjunction with my acrylic pouring. It's just so glossy, and a lot of times things are too streaky and they never want to stay. They wipe off really easily after. I don't know how permanent this is going to be, but so far I am really, really excited about how well that shows up over the acrylic pouring. Like, that's phenomenal. I will definitely be using these next time I want to do acrylic pouring with a design over it, because that's definitely showing up better than any of the markers I have on hand so far. Oh, heck yeah. That looks so much better. Oh, that's so exciting. That is so exciting. I could have used these a long time ago. I wish I had these a long time ago as far as this kind of project goes, because I've done quite a bit of gift type things for like my sisters and things like that that involved acrylic pouring and required me to put designs over it. And this would have been so much easier if I had had these markers. That's very exciting. Okay, so for my next project, I decided to draw on this little piece of wood. And this actually came from a tree in our backyard. One of my favorite trees had a branch fall out of it, and my husband cut it up so that I could have these little discs. And that's what I'm painting on. And it is untreated. I didn't put any gesso on it, and I feel like it probably would have come out better had I put gesso on it. But that being said, even though the paint sinks into the wood, because that's what paint does to untreated wood, this came out really, really well. I'm really excited with how well these worked and how well the nib held up. Like, this was kind of some rough wood, and the nibs were still in really, really good shape. At this point in my day, the only complaint that I really had about these pens is that there's no place to put the cap so that you don't lose it. Like, a lot of pens, you can put the cap on the back end of the pen. The caps don't fit on the ends of these pens like that. And so I had to worry about them rolling around or me losing them in between. And obviously I don't want things drying out. So really the only thing that I have to say is that it would have been easier had there been a convenient place to put the caps so that I don't lose them while I'm working. But other than that, they work great. So the next project, I wanted to try these on glass. And I cannot believe how easy these went on glass. Like, I like to paint on glass, and I have enamel paint for that. This was so much easier than using a brush, and so less streaky. I've been looking for something like this for years. Like, I cannot believe it. The only thing that I have for a downfall when it comes to this is that there's no real instructions for baking them. Like, normally when you paint on glass, you have to bake it to get it to stick in order for it to not scrub off easily when you wash the said project. And I didn't see any of that on the labeling or on the packaging. I did see somebody mention it in like a comment on the listing on Amazon, but I don't have any actual word from the company on that. So if that is something that needs to be done, I think they should include that on their packaging. However, in use, I cannot believe how easy it went on glass, and I love it. So now I have come back to my little ladybug rock, which had finally dried. I probably put 3 or 4 layers on it. This one was more difficult because it was so 3D and I kept, like, it's so small and I kept getting fingerprints in it, and I'm not a very patient person, so I didn't let it dry as much as I should have. But here we are, finally doing the details. The size of the nib was perfect for the detailing. I was really, really excited with that. I only had a little bit of difficulty getting the eyes in there because they were so small, but other than that, it was great. Okay, so for my final thoughts on these markers, let's take a look at some of the fun stuff I was able to make. So, you saw me draw on this piece of wood, and initially I did have another wooden thing that I planned on drawing on. It was like a little miniature drawer thing, like it had 3 little drawers, but that was going to take way too long to do, so I decided, because I wanted to do so many different things in this video, that I might just save that for another time. But this is what it looked like on wood. This wood was not treated ahead of time. Like, I didn't end up gessoing it or anything else, and it actually still took pretty well. I do think it would have been better had I gessoed it, but it took really, really well. You also saw me draw on some rocks. So this is just regular slate. And this was just, I don't know, some stone that I found in my driveway. And of course, I couldn't resist trying like the ladybug look because I don't know, I just think that's really fun. So I ended up doing that. And this one, because it was so dark, I did end up needing quite a few layers on it, as I mentioned earlier. But I'm still really, really happy with how it came out. And just a fun little landscape scene. Of course, I mentioned how stoked I was that this worked over acrylic pouring. I've been looking for markers that work really well over acrylic pouring, and this fit the bill. I'm so excited about that because I will definitely be using these more for that. Something else I did that I had attempted to film but didn't show up, I wanted to see how well they did on metal, and for some reason I thought it would be really fun to have gold nails. And so that was something else that I did that for some reason I don't have the footage for, but these were just regular nails and I painted them gold. I just thought that was super cute. I mean, they're just gold nails, but it came out really well. So it shows that they do work on metal and they haven't really chipped off or anything. I've been playing with them a little bit. And one of my other favorite things that I did was I painted on glass. And I haven't really tried to scratch this stuff off. It went on really, really easily. Now, normally, like when painting on glass, there's usually like you have to bake it to get it to stay before you wash it. But as I mentioned earlier in my voiceover, there's no directions for that on here other than, I think somebody mentions it in the reviews on the listing on Amazon, but there were no directions with this for that. So I didn't dare to do that, but I also am not sure if I dare to wash it without doing that. I did like get some on the back on accident, and I tried scraping it off and it doesn't want to come off very easily. I mean, it will if I really, really try. So I don't know. This is just a candle holder anyway, so I don't anticipate having to wash it very often, but yeah. So my overall thoughts on these, they definitely do exactly what they say they do. They work really well on multiple surfaces. They're vibrant, they're bright, they're fun. I really like the size of the nib. I had a blast with these, and these are exactly the kind of craft marker that I've been looking for so that I can, you know, just do fun random things on random materials, because sometimes you need something like that in the studio. And so I'm pretty excited about that. Like I said, they're not necessarily artist grade. They're obviously like for kids 3 and up, and you know, they are what they are. They're a craft marker. They fit the bill for that perfectly fine. I will be using them in the future, and now I'm actually looking to possibly get the 20 set because I'm really excited about this, and there's a lot of fun colors in that set. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed these markers. I recommend them for the price. I think they're a great craft marker to do the fun, crafty sort of things like rock painting and whatever else you would like for out of a marker that can write on different surfaces. That was long-winded. All right, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed watching me play with these markers. I will see you next week. You have a great day. Have a great week. Bye.